Erev Tov. It says in the Zohar Kadosh something very powerful, something very strong. When a person passes away, lo aleinu, when he dies, there's all kinds of things that happen there, but one of the most important things is that he has to be buried right away. Everybody knows about this rule. It shouldn't be delayed, the burial. Sometimes we have to do it, there's no choice, but the truth is that when there is an option, to bury him on that same day, you should be buried right away. Not to wait, until 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Some people, they wait a long time, especially the goyim. They wait sometimes a week, because they want to gather the people and all kinds of arrangements. And this is not a good idea for us, the Jewish people. Since we know the truth about these things. So it says in Zohar Kadosh that there's many reasons, why a person shouldn't be buried late, should be buried right away. Number one is, when a person dies, what happens is that the neshama now has to sometimes come back as a gilgul. We talked about this before, right? Gilgul, reincarnation. So what happens is like this, that they say, sometimes when a person dies, the gilgul happens right away. He comes back, right away in a new body. Straight ahead, no delay. So what that means is that so long as the body is not buried, he cannot come back in a gilgul, because first the body has to be buried. For him to enter a new body, the old body already has to be buried, So the delays, the gilgul. If a person, sometimes they don't bury him on time, they cannot bring him back in a gilgul. But this is not good. Why? Because the gilgul is for the benefit, of this person. Why for the benefit? So he can make a tikkun, for his sins, whatever, for his lackings, whatever he didn't do properly. He didn't perform properly, so the Gilgul helps him to make a tikkun, and he cannot start the tikkun until the body is buried, to come into the next body. This is one of the things where, one of the reasons why it's very important to bury the body right away. So how long does it have, by the way, to bury the body? How long do we have? It says in the Zohar Kadosh 24 hours. So what does that mean? That day that he died and the night after. That's it. You shouldn't wait longer than that. That's why we try, if we can, right? If a person is niftar, we try to bury him on that same day, so he doesn't have to wait till tomorrow. Because who's going to bury him at night, in the middle of the night? Who's going to come out there? Nobody's going to do that. So therefore, the only option is to bury him that day, So if they can, we tell you, let's say, lo alenu, he was niftar in the morning, so try to bury him by the afternoon, finish it off, because this way. Right, he won't have to wait till the next day, which is already 24 hours. It's going to be a problem, right? Day and night passed by already. So we don't want that. That's the important thing to understand. Okay, that's one thing, right? Then we have another issue also, which is that also when they don't bury the body on time, there's another problem. What the problem is? The problem is that sometimes, he has to go to his place in Shamayim. He has, a place where he has to go there to get his, to be in Olam Haba. His Olam Haba over there. You know what I mean? In the heavens. So what happens is he cannot go to that place again, right? Same thing. He cannot go there until his body is buried, So it delays his destination, That's the problem, He can't get there without that. So what's the problem? The problem is like this, They say in the Zohar Kadosh that every place that, the neshama is found, there is a certain kind of clothing, that he wears. So on this earth, when the neshama is here, he wears clothing. What's the clothing? The body, right? The body is the clothing of the neshama. Some people think, by the way, mistakenly, they think the body is you, You're the body? No, you're not the body. You're the neshama. The body is just clothing for the neshama. That's what it is. You're not the body. So, you tell me, that's you. No, it's not you. Neshama is you. It's not the same thing. Anyway, the point is, right, that when a person goes to Shamayim, they have to give him a new body over there to cover the neshama. What kind of body do you get in Shamayim? So they say, it's a body of light. It's or, light. It's not a physical body. It's light. So because of that, right, they cannot give you that new body up there in Shamayim, of or, of light, until they bury the body down here. This is also another reason why, you shouldn't delay the burial, because this also cannot happen until the body is buried. That's why we try as hard as we can, to bury him right away. This is the best thing. Of course, I have to tell you that when we can't bury him right away for some reason, let's say they can't, arrange a funeral right on time because they can't come, the people, his relatives cannot come so early. So sometimes they do delay it, but what they do is, you've heard this about this, right? They put the body right in the morgue, and they read, so they put somebody there to read Tehillim, to protect his body. They do that, right? Because that's the only way to, to kind of like, solve the problem. It doesn't really solve the problem totally, but at least it protects the body. And I'll explain to you why it needs to be protected. I'll explain to you why it needs protection. We'll explain that now, right? So another thing, right? It says in the Zohar Kadosh is that when the body is not buried, the neshama, the nefesh, has tsar. It has a lot of pain, anguish. This is also another reason why you have to bury the body, because until the body is buried, that's a tikkun, of the neshama to bury the body, right? So therefore, when you don't bury it, the neshama is suffering, he's in bad shape. He's suffering from that. That's another thing, Now I'll tell you the last one, which is going to explain, right, what we just mentioned. The last problem is like this, when a person passes away, lo aleinu, what happens is, at night, right, there's something called ruach ra, right, evil spirit, that comes at night. Even on us, when we sleep, right, we get it also. You know that, right? That's why we have to do netilat yadayim in the morning, to take off the evil spirit from the hands, the ruach ra. That's why we do that, right? It's very important to wash the hands in the morning. So, what happens is that the ruach ra, this evil spirit, you know what it is, right? It's a terrible thing. It's looking, what is it looking for, this thing? It's going around at night, this ruach ra, looking for a body, which has no neshama, because it wants to enter there, to rest there. It needs a body. It needs a goof. Understand? So what happens is this ruach ra is looking for a goof to enter in, to rest there. So what is it? What does it find? The dead body, right, which wasn't buried. That's the only thing it can find. You understand? That's why we don't want that, right, to leave the body at night, overnight, unburied. Because this ruach ra is looking for a place to rest there, and it's going to go in there. In that place. So why is it so bad? Because it contaminates the body and the neshama, causes a lot of contamination, a lot of damage. So what happens is that the ruach ra goes into the body, right, and rests there and causes damage. So this is the reason why, also another reason, right, we don't want to leave the body unburied overnight, because at night is where the ruach ra comes in. You know what I mean? So we don't want to leave it overnight.
You don't have to taking the bodies from here, let's say, to Israel.
Right.
So if you know it's going to take you a week, I don't know, sometimes it can take holidays, whatever.
Sure. It's going to take a couple of days, the shortest.
Couple of days,
yeah,
especially if it's on the weekend.
Sure.
So maybe why is it not better to bury them in that moment over here?
It's a good question what he's asking, right? So the truth is, that when it comes to this, right, you're losing something there, because it's not being buried right away. But the thing is also, when you go to Eretz Israel and take the body over there, it's also gaining a lot of things, a lot of things that it gains.
But you don't have a limitation of how long can you waste, even that you...
Yeah, we do it as fast as we can, This is something which has to be considered, when the case comes up. Right? We cannot talk about it now, all the details about that, It really needs to be researched. It's like a little bit, right? All these things. But the general idea is, right, we want to bury it as fast as possible. So, right, as we said, right, that the ruach ra comes and contaminates the body, goes in there. This is what happens, So, this is the reason why we have somebody, reading the Tehillim over there by the dead body. That the ruach ra shouldn't come over there, to bother the dead body. This is the reason why we do it, to protect him, from the ruach ra.
We're still doing it?
They have people, they go into the morgue, they sit there all night and read Tehillim, all night.
No, it's Shabbat Shabbat. You go there.
No, 24/7 people are sitting there.
When there's somebody there, they have to hire somebody, Well, you have to hire somebody to be there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
no, a few people come.
Right. That's the way it is, So this is the thing, so now that's another reason why we don't want to leave the body unburied, right, at night. A lot of things involved. So therefore, Rabbatai, the burial should happen, as fast as possible. I remember, when Maran, Rabbi, he passed away, and he passed away like I think it was in the morning, if I remember correctly, So they buried him right away that day, They didn't wait. I mean, let's wait, until his relatives come, until this one comes, somebody comes from America. No, we don't do that. It's crazy, What are you talking about? Somebody comes from here, somebody comes from Europe. What do you care about that? Take care of the dead, That's what your job is, Not to worry about some guests that are coming, from some places. Who cares about that? Let them come late, so they'll come a little bit late. So what? No big deal, That's the thing, So therefore, that's why it should be taken care of right away. That's another thing.
Questions, Rabbi?
Yeah, please.
Now you said about Gilgul.
Yes.
That Gilgul goes to the new child that's supposed to be born.
Right.
Another question.
Yeah.
The child comes to this world clean as a whistle. He's come pure. And now you put in baggage of the sins to the body.
This is a good question. Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
Second is, if he died in the morning, and like you said, we don't have time, let's say sometimes you need the paperwork for doctors or somebody else. It's, can we let during these 24 hours, let's say from the lunch until next morning, it's still during the 24 hours.
Right, but still the thing, it's a problem. You know why? Because as we said, right, at night it gets contaminated, So we don't want to finish they say don't finish the night, without burying him. So don't wait till the morning, If you wait till the morning, it's already too late.
But it depends what time.
What can we do? We do the best we can, That's the thing,
So what about Gilgul?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. By the way, I had also this question myself. Because one Mekubal told me, he said, sometimes the Gilgul comes right away. That second that he dies, he comes back. Boom.
Now, one more question.
Yeah.
Comes up. When women get pregnant,
Yeah.
after 40 days, Hashem sends the soul to her and body starts.
Right.
So it's already made in a shamayim that supposed to be somebody died, and the soul supposed to be, like you say, Grigul,
Yeah.
comes out to this woman, but she's gonna be giving birth like in another 9 months. It's not gonna be child coming up right away, no?
I didn't exactly understand your question.
Okay, when woman gets
Yeah.
pregnant,
Yeah.
so the plot, как сказать plot? The child doesn't doesn't grow right away. It's need time. For
Sure.
40 days, I heard that 40
Yeah.
days, and then its body starts.
Right.
becoming a human. So at that time already, the soul supposed to be sent from Shamayim,
Yeah.
and it goes like when angels came and said to Sarah, next year this.
Yes.
Again, the child. So it's already.
Yeah, this is very deep stuff what you're getting into, These are deep things, Hashem knows how to do these things, to switch the neshamot. He knows how to do. So let's rely on Him, I don't know exactly how all these things, work, all these things are arranged, But the basic question that you asked was a very good question, which is that how is it, right, that the neshama can come back in a Gilgul without first being, cleansed, right, from the sins? So you know what the answer is, right? The answer is that they can cleanse you right away sometimes. How do they do that? You know how it is? When a person, lo aleinu, he dies, right? He goes up, and they put him into a certain river. You know which river I'm talking about? It's not the Hudson River.
No,
It's not the East River, it's not the Hudson River. I'm not talking about those rivers. The mafia puts the body in there, not Hashem, right? That's something else. We're not talking about that, right? So, the answer is like this, right? Nahar Dinur, he says, right? That's the name of the river. Dinur. Why is it called Dinur? In Aramaic, this means it's a river of fire, It's made out of fire. So what happens is that they put the neshama in there, like it's a mikveh, tevilah. It's a mikveh of fire, So they put the neshama in there to cleanse the neshama from all the sins, So once they put him in there, he's totally cleansed. You know what I mean? From all the impurity. By the way, until he goes into there, he cannot go to Shemaim. He has to be first cleansed of the sins, He cannot go up there to Gan Eden. He cannot go.
Here comes another question.
Yeah.
He's already pure. He is placed in Shamayim. Why he has to go back and fix what?
Yeah, so here's the thing. He's asking good questions. Very good question. Okay, I'll explain to you what the answer is, okay? It's true, he's pure. But he still has, the sins that he did. He needs to make a tikkun for those things, The only way to come to make a tikkun is to come in a gilgul and to have those situations again, right? And solve those problems, you know what I mean? To do, teshuvah.
So they don't walk away, I guess.
So in other words, they cleanse you, they clean you, but you don't have a tikkun. The tikkun requires to come back again and to be tested again, the same thing. This time to pass the test. This is the whole thing, right? So this is the reason why we need the gilgul, So I'll tell you something interesting about that, which is that some of us, I'll finish over here, I don't want to go too long. Some of us, we come back in a good place, and when we come back in the world, some of us, we come back in not such a good place. So what does that depend on, So it's a midat hadin, that's what it says in the Zohar Kadosh, right? What does that mean? The Satan comes and accuses this person and says, okay, Kadosh Baruch Hu, you want to bring him as a gilgul? You want to bring him? Okay, but he was a rasha, So don't bring him into a good place. He doesn't deserve that. Bring him into a bad place. So what does that mean, bad place? The parents are not religious, they're not shomer mitzvot, they're bad people, they're not tzaddikim, So he has to come to a bad place because the midat hadin doesn't allow him to come into a good place, to make a gilgul like that. So he has to come to a bad place. So he comes to a family, the mother is not religious, she doesn't go to the mikveh, so he's got all kinds of problems. Now he has to come and make a tikkun, of all these issues that he's got. That's the thing, So the midat hadin doesn't allow him to come to a good place if he was a rasha. But if he was a tzaddik, he just had a little problem, something little small. So there, he can come to a good place, to a good family, and be, tzaddik, chacham, and, make a tikkun, the little tikkun that he needs. And Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ואמן. רבי חנינא בן עקשיא אומר, יעשה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעזוב את ישראל, לפיכך חיבר להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר בנחפש, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידין.